guys, welcome to Steamport. My name is Prina and today we're going to be making a robotic hand model that demonstrates how the bones and tendons in our hand help it move.
The anatomy of the hand. So first we're going to feel our hands and try to determine how many bones are in our fingers and our palm that help us move our hands. You can feel your fingers, you can feel the back of your hand, and you can also feel your palm today. In total, your hand is composed of 27 bones that help it function. You can see all of these listed in the picture on the right, and we're going to go over them in the next slide. So first of all, you have your phalanges, which are the 14 bones found in the fingers of each hand and also the toes of each foot. There are 3 in each finger and only 2 in the thumb because your thumb is shorter. The metacarpal bones are the 5 bones found in the middle part of your hand, so right around here, and they're right under the phalanges. The carpal bones are the 8 bones that make up the wrist, so right around here, and there's 2 rows of carpal bones that are connected to 2 bones in your arm called the ulna and the radius bones. Next, we have your ligaments and your joints. The joints are where bones meet, which allows for bone movement, kind of like hinges. So for example, with a door, you have hinges which allow it to open and close like that, which is kind of like what the joints do for our bones. The joints in your fingers are commonly called knuckles, right here, so these are all joints. The ligaments are the thick white straps of tissue that hold the joints together and help them move. Joints can become loose or tight if your ligaments are injured, which usually happens if you have sprains. And last but not least, we have muscles and tendons. The muscles are structures that create force to help you move your bones. Most muscles that help your hands move are in your forearm, but there are smaller muscles in your hand. In the image, you can see the red parts, those are muscles. The tendons connect the muscles in the hands to the bones, which allows movement, and there are many tendons that go through each hand all the way up to the fingers, which allows you to move each of your fingers separately and together. Now we can move on to the activity.
For this activity, you're going to need glue, scissors, 1 piece of construction paper, it doesn't matter what color, straws, a pen or pencil, and 5 pieces of pre-cut yarn. To start this activity, the first thing you're going to do is take your hand and lay it face down onto your piece of construction paper. Now you're going to use a pen or pencil to carefully trace it, and make sure to go down a little at the wrist so you have space for the bones we're going to add later on. Now carefully cut out your tracing. While you're cutting out your hand, remember that it doesn't have to be perfectly on the lines, or you don't have to cut exactly as you traced. Just as long as it looks like a hand and as long as you're careful with the scissors, you'll be fine. Now we're going to make the bones from our straws. You want to take your straws and you're going to cut 24 1 centimeter pieces. Don't worry about making them all the same exact length or making them all 1 centimeter exactly. The 3 types of bones in your hands are the phalanges, the metacarpals, and the carpals. These are the bones that are going to be represented by these cut straws. There are 14 phalanges in total, 3 in each finger and 2 in the thumb. The metacarpals are found just below the phalanges in the middle of your hand. There are 5 in total, 1 for each finger. Finally, there are 8 carpal bones, found just above your wrist, and they're assembled in 2 rows. The carpal bones are connected to 2 bones in your arms called the ulna and the radius bones. Once you have all of your bones cut out, you're going to want to arrange them on the cutout of your hand. 4 on each finger and 3 on the thumb to represent your phalanges and metacarpal bones. Take the remaining 5 and arrange them in a horizontal line at your wrist to show the carpal bones. You can use the video as a reference. Once you have all of them arranged, you can glue them all down. The joints in your hand are where bones meet, which allows for movement and flexibility, kind of like hinges. The joints in your fingers are called knuckles, which you've probably heard of before. Ligaments are the thick white straps of tissue that hold the joints together to provide structure and also movement. If your ligaments are injured, like for example if you get a sprain, your joints can become either too loose or too tight and you might have trouble moving your hand normally. Once you have all of your bones glued down, you might want to wait 1 or 2 minutes to let the glue dry. Then we're going to move on to adding the tendons so that your hand will be able to move. You're going to take your 5 pieces of pre-cut yarn and run them through each of the finger bones down to the carpals, like you can see in the video. These will act as our tendons. You've probably heard the term muscles before. They're structures that create force to help the bones move. The tendons connect the muscles in your hand to the bones to allow the movement. There are many tendons in each hand that go through the hand and up to the fingers. Now you're going to take the ends of your yarn at the fingertips and glue them down to secure it. Once again, you might want to wait 1 or 2 minutes to let the glue fully dry before you pull on the strings so that the strings don't come out. Once it's dry, your model is done. Now you can pull on the remainder yarn at the wrist to demonstrate how the tendons and the bones work together to create motion. In the video, you can see me pulling on each finger individually and also all together, demonstrating greatly how our hand moves.
Some things we learned today that you can keep in mind are that there are 27 bones that make up our hand. There are 14 phalanges found in each of our fingers. The muscles in our body help create force so we can move our bones, and the bones meet our joints, which allow for movement. And finally, the strings that we use in our activity imitate the tendons in our hand, which help us move our fingers.
I hope you all had fun making your robotic hand model, and thank you guys for coming to Steamport. Make sure to check out steamport.org for more fun activities that you can do at home. Bye!